All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Brick It Up. I'm Mike, and this is Jim, and we got some questions for you. All right, so Jim, I got a couple questions that came up in my posts that I pinned a comment saying, "Hey, let me know any topics that you might have." And these were a couple that I got here. One of the subscribers asked, when it comes to Harry Potter versus Star Wars and investing between these two, it's always hard for them. You know, they know that Star Wars just has a bigger fan base than Harry Potter. I guess that's, an opinion. I mean, I would believe it's probably right, but how do you pick your sets when it comes to, maybe say you are trying to figure out over Star Wars over Harry Potter? They just wanted to know our thoughts on that. Like if you're choosing between.
So Star Wars is its own universe, and Harry
Right.
Potter is at the point where it's just about its own universe, right?
Mhm.
So the last thing you want to do is just tackle Star Wars head on.
Right.
And so what I did was I tried to peel away the layers a little bit, and I would look at the battle packs, the micro figures.
Mhm.
I've done videos on specifically for TIE fighters, and
Yeah.
I don't think I've done Millennium Falcons, but I've talked about Millennium Falcons in the past. So you could kind of see value, and you could strategize on how to get a good ROI off of some Star Wars sets. Now there's some Star Wars sets that I'm sure are great sets for builders and collectors, but for
Sure.
resellers it's just garbage,
Right.
right? And so I've been pretty active in those areas when it comes to Star Wars. Now when it comes to Harry Potter, I haven't been as active. I mean, I do have some great hauls. I think I got like 20 or 30 great hauls.
Mhm.
Those books that came out,
I
I
love those.
love those, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you talk about collectability, you talk
Mhm.
about the price point. I mean, it just checks all the boxes, right? And then you have, I think it's the $40 Hedwig, and then you have the $250 UCS Hedwig.
Right.
I mean, they're all pretty cool, and you could look at those sets and be like, okay, that's money, right? But then you have to start to do some due diligence and break out a
Mhm.
spreadsheet and look at historical things. Now, of course, the Hogwarts Express, man, of course that is money.
Yeah.
Eh, but I'm just not nuanced when it comes to Harry Potter as I am with Star Wars, and I'm still not 100% nuanced when it comes to Star Wars.
Mhm.
Each month I'm just biting a little bit more off of Star Wars and learning when it comes to reselling. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think just like, you always talk about just checking the numbers out. But are there I mean, with those books, and you may know of something, but I don't really know of another book to compare them to. There was some kind of storybook or ideas thing that I wouldn't really. I mean, I guess you could compare it to that, but I mean, I'm with you as far as like I'm the type again that I'm gonna collect, and I'm gonna collect all four. I want all four, and I think there's new ones coming out. I've heard. I think maybe there's two more and coming out next year. So, and it
right.
seems like I forget the two. I could look online, but I think they're saying two of them is slated to retire at the end of this year, and then another two, call it by next summer or something like that. But yeah, I think the collectability. Yeah, I think that's what the guy was asking is just if there's a rhyme or reason in how you do it. And I mean, I think it just comes down to, does it make sense? It does it have good collectability to it? And is there any data to look at? I guess some stuff you're never going to know. You just kind of have to buy it. But
Right.
the more research you can do. But anyway, no, that's very cool. Yeah, I like them both, and I'm still obviously learning a lot. And I know more about Star Wars, but doesn't mean I'm a pro or anything. The other question, and I thought this one was pretty cool too. It's kind of multi-part, so I'll try to go slow here. They said, can you discuss volume, how many you buy, what your storage setup is, how you track inventory, and then how much do you buy online versus in store? I mean, I guess for you, you can, if you want to start with like volume, how many you buy.
So when it comes to volume and when it comes to every aspect of reselling,
Mhm.
I go with convenience.
Okay.
So, I think I mentioned in one of the previous episodes that when it comes to the Friends Sunshine Catamaran.
Mhm.
I put 100 in the cart, 100 went through, the check cleared, and then a couple days later, it showed up in my garage, right? That's very convenient.
Sure.
Now, there are some times where you have to work a little bit harder. And when I say work a little bit harder, I'm talking about maybe using multiple Amazon accounts, which really isn't working that much harder, or calling your cousins in Pittsburgh and
Right.
Poughkeepsie and saying, "Hey, I need you to order this, and here's my credit card number."
Yeah.
And I have a cousin. He's not a CFO, but he's like right below the CFO of a company that everybody knows. And he says, "Listen," he says, "I clear $1 million checks every day, but I feel so nervous pushing through this Amazon order for you." And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. We're both going to get through this." But
That's funny.
but I really do like convenience. But at the same time, I do like going into stores because I feel like you get a better perspective on what's going on in the
Right.
stores, especially during COVID. You saw all the shelves that were bare. I would love to go to a couple of the stores on the Monday after Black Friday just to see
Mm.
what their volume is and how much inventory they have. So, and sometimes you have to go out there. Target has the buy 50, get the $10 gift card
Yeah.
sets and deals and stuff like that. So, sometimes you have to go out there. But when it comes to my decision making, I always go for convenience first over anything else.
Okay. Yeah, and now you mentioned the Target, which speaking about those Harry Potter books, I think 3 of the 4 of them were on sale for 20% off this past week. Then you could get the $10 with, I think or maybe all 4 were on sale, but only 3 you could get the $10. Anyway, to me I thought that was a pretty good deal because you're already getting 20% off, and then you're getting the $10 if you spend over 50 and anything else you stack on it. But okay, and so yeah, and that's what I was curious how you do that. I mean, obviously to me it makes more sense to buy online, but I like going into the stores. Obviously, I can't do it often. I know some people say they're going in the stores like every day. I guess if you're at a high level or you're doing it full time or something, but it's an interesting perspective. You just gave me that idea about going in the day after Black Friday or the Monday, I guess, or Cyber Monday, whatever that is, and seeing what's still there that may be no good
Right.
or what's gone and know, okay, well, these could be winners. So what do you do? Like, I think you said you got a couple different storage options, like garage or warehouse or something like that.
Yeah, so the majority of my inventory right now is in a warehouse, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And eventually I'm going to go back to doing things on my own again in the not next Q4 but the following Q4. So I
Hmm.
need to come up with some creative storage ideas. And I have so just complete coincidence, I know quite a few people that do, work and they manage storage units too. And so,
Okay.
whenever I see them occasionally, I'll talk to them. And so I'm trying to think right now how much I pay monthly for storage. It's somewhere around $400 or $500, right?
Mm,
Which may sound like a lot, and it
sure.
kind of is. But when you have multiple six figures of inventory, that's kind of the way it is.
Yep.
But I was pricing out, I think, what was it? 20 by 10 climate controlled unit. I
Mhm.
think I could get for 140,
Oh,
which
wow.
isn't bad. So the prices here in Kentucky are pretty competitive with that. I'm sure in more denser cities that may not be the case, but I am starting to, kind of price shop, see what I could do. Eventually, what I would love to do, and I don't think I'm going to pull this off, is just convince my wife that the whole basement needs to be mine. Uh, but I don't think I'm going to get away with that. But I've also thought about, this, some people might balk at this, not necessarily in my neighborhood, but, somewhere close by. Well, not myself buy it, but have a family member buy it. And they could be my landlord. And that will be an expense for my business. And then they get tax free, uh, rental revenue coming in. So there's a few ideas. Things will become a lot more crystal clear
Mm,
probably in the next 18 months. but I do have some inventory at my house because I still go on Target runs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the majority of my inventory is in a pretty big warehouse out of state.
Okay. So with in your garage, do you just have like a setup or anything, or is it just kind of like you got it in there packing it the best you can?
Well, in my garage, I just got my kids' crap, and I said that specifically for you because you have two little ones too.
Yeah.
And
My garage is a mess.
but there are, I mean, I've thought about, putting like supportive structures in the attic.
Hmm.
And you go down the YouTube rabbit hole and you're like, okay, people have unfinished attics, but with $200 and some plywood and nails, you you could make miracles happen, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really going to have to tackle this soon. And when I say soon, it's whenever my wife says that she's fed up. So
I don't know what that's like. Right on, man. Yeah, a lot of mine, like I don't have hundreds of thousands and stuff. I'm still trying to build that up, but a lot of it's in closets or in a friend's basement, which I trust wholly and to keep it safe. And I bought these. I think they're like $40 each at not Walmart, at Home Depot. These plastic racks. I think I've seen other people with them on YouTube. They're pretty common to storage everything nicely or whatever. But yeah, I've thought about doing something in my own garage or basement. I'm not basement. That's what I need. Or attic. But the problem is, and I don't know what it's like in Louisville. I've never been there, but it gets hot in Atlanta. I'm a little bit north of Atlanta, and I just don't want to be that guy I'll end up screwing myself over because of the tape or whatever,
Right.
and having any issues. I did have a couple of the ATSTs that sat in an Amazon box pretty much this whole summer. I stuck them in there for, I don't even remember why, and just stared at them for a while. And then it was more kind of like a test. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be upset and they turned out all right. And I can't remember if they had the tape or some of them have those new punch things, which is probably a better deal for resellers. But, yeah, nothing too elaborate, but that's I think one of the biggest issues I hear people on other YouTube channels and comments and the Patreon just mention space. I would love to maybe get like a storage unit or something, but not there yet.
Right.
Let me ask kind of the final part of this one is how do you track it? Like I got a little spreadsheet. It's generic. Maybe that's all we really need. I don't know. Like, you got any fancy tracking system? Because you got a lot, so you got to have something. No, it's not.
I mean, honestly, I would say Microsoft Excel is it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't, and I'm always a person that likes to keep to the basics, which is why I do camel on the videos. I try and not create a fog around technology and all this other stuff and have that become a distraction. So I have a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. I have multiple ones.
Sure.
And, they seem to be working out. That there will be times where I will, maybe, I don't want to use the word mess up, but something just won't seem right on my Excel spreadsheet.
Mhm.
And so then I'll go ahead and I'll shoot an email to the warehouse that has my inventory, and I'll say, hey, do you mind just sending me a Excel spreadsheet of my inventory, and then I'll take a look at that and reconcile it and go from there. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I mostly, honestly, this might sound irresponsible. The only reason why I honestly track my Lego sets is for tax purposes.
Mhm.
If there wasn't any taxes involved, I would probably, I know I would be a lot more disorganized than what I already am, but I just keep it the way it is, and as organized as I possibly can on Excel because of tax purposes. So
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I just have it on an Excel, but the more I learn, I mean, I'll probably have some more organization. But okay. Well, one other thing I wanted to mention is I was on, before this we were talking about Brick Fanatics, and obviously there's all kinds of websites and information and what's true and what's whatever. Like, but I stumbled upon an article about all these new shows, right? So I know, like, I'm gonna go ahead and I am like a huge advocate for Disney Plus. Man, that's like the greatest thing. I enjoy Netflix or whatever. I have limited time with these kids, so I can't watch as much stuff as I want. But I make time for my Disney Plus. Somehow I figure it out. And there's all these shows, man. You hear about like Book of Boba Fett and I think the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. But I was looking
Right.
yesterday, and like there's like so many different Marvel shows. Like you got Moon Knight, and I think a lot of it's geared towards these like they've gone through the Avengers and done dang near everything they can as far as movies. So now I think they're getting into the, some people call it what, I mean, you might have said it once, I don't know, second, call them second tier or second level heroes or whatever. But like I'm looking at it now, there's like Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Secret Invasion, that I've read quite a few of those comics. Dude, I can't wait for that. I think it'll do a good job. There's a cartoon for I Am Groot. I don't know what Ironheart is. Marvel Zombies. Anyway, all these different shows, and X-Men 97, like 1997 one, which I'm curious about. But I was just curious, like, what are your thoughts on the future of stuff like that? I think actually they don't list it, but I think Hawkeye might be coming out like next month.
Yeah, I think Hawkeye's coming out
I would
soon.
assume Lego's going to be making sets for a lot of them. But what are your thoughts about just the future of these shows and Lego in general?
So I think they need to be smart about it, right? I
Okay.
mean, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Avengers, that was kind of like the low-bearing fruit. That's easy money, right?
Sure.
But if they want, let's say a Hawkeye series, I mean, they better come and bring it, right? I mean, because
Sure.
let me tell you, if there's not a good storyline, I know I'm not going to check it out. I mean, I don't want to say I probably won't check it out anyway, but
Yeah.
they have to do something to bring in a lot of people. Now, to Disney Plus's credit, I like Loki, and they're using the same actor. I think that's key too. Like, they had tragic passing of Black Panther. That's the actor. That's a legitimate reason why that person's not going to be cast anymore. But you really can't have this revolving door of actors playing the same character. And I think that Disney has been good to make sure that hasn't happened. A show that I really like, and yes, it is Marvel, WandaVision. I loved WandaVision. I thought it was great. I also thought it would be a good idea to have a WandaVision Lego set where, there's a house. And you would have to, you'd have to keep on changing it because I mean, Lego's doing the Seinfeld house, they're doing Friends, they're doing all this stuff. Why not have WandaVision? I think that would be great, right?
Yeah.
And it would be a twist because you would have like the 1950s, 70s, 80s houses, and you could, I don't know about having make it a whole theme, but you could definitely have a lot of activity there that would complement the show. So, it'll be interesting. I know that there will be a lot of shows that I'll just kind of gaze and glance over, but occasionally there will be a show like Loki or WandaVision that will come out, and, I'll be watching it.
Yeah, and the one thing it doesn't seem so far that Lego wants to make sets based off of these shows. Like they got the minifigure line that came out, and they had about 3 per each show, 2 or 3 show. So I'm curious if they're just not going to do it because it's so many shows, and what would they do? I mean, 1 set per show. Like obviously they're not going to have. I wouldn't think they do 3 sets for Hawkeye. I mean, they did 1 set for the Black Widow movie, that little helicopter. So that's why I was just curious, like if you thought that they would do any sets, because they haven't yet, or maybe they're steering away from it for Marvel and they'll stick to. I know they'll do another batch of the minifigures, so maybe that's what they'll do is they'll keep it to the minifigures. But then it's like Star Wars seems like they're going to the sets, and maybe I don't know, maybe because it's Star Wars, right? They did it with the Mandalorian,
right?
We all assume and hear that they'll do it with Book of Boba Fett, and I really hope that they'll do it with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and I put in a little video I posted the other day about the Duel on Mustafar. I could see that picking up a little traction around that time because it's still, I mean, I saw it on Best Buy for still full price, but it seems like it's dried up most places. I would think that might be a set that people will want when that show comes out in whenever it is. I don't know, April or May or March or something. But anyway, well, that's I think all we got for you guys today. We wanted to hit some different topics, and we hope you enjoyed it. Again, like we said in the last video, all the even ones are on my channel. All the odd shows are on Jim's, and we appreciate you joining with us. And break it up. Take it easy.